The Samaveda, Kanda 4, Prapathaka 6, Ardha 2, Dasata 4-6-2-1 Agna, 4 verses. Chant we a hymn to Agna, while we go to sacrifice to him, who hears us even from afar, who from of old, in carnage, when the folk were gathered, hath preserved his household for the worshipper. May that most blissful Agna guard our wealth and all our family, and keep us safe from pain and grief. Yea, let men say, Agna is born, even he who slayeth Vritra, he who winneth wealth in every fight. Now, are we having an implication that, like Islam, the places of worship are to be preserved amidst a war? And also, when we come to acts of worship, we can further enhance that aspect of the spiritual benefit through chanting along the way. If we walk along knowing, okay, we're on the way to an act of worship, that's something, and doing it in the name of particular practices at the start, the middle, and the end of even going there, it's like we're part of the ritual the whole time. It's like these people in their grimoires. It takes some time. The stone that you're using or something like that. It's like the whole time you're using the stone, you're doing the ritual. I mean, you might leave the ritual if you're not conscious of, being in the preparatory stages. Dasata 4-6-2-2 Agna. 3 verses. Harness, O Agna, O thou god, thy steeds which are most excellent. The fleet ones bring the rapidly. Come hither, bring the gods to us, to taste the sacrificial feast, to drink the draught of so much juice. O Agna of the Bharatas, flame splendid with unfading might, shine forth and gleam, eternal one. Now these shining ones, the light beings, Islam also teaches that in a way they kind of feed off our good deeds. Those words aren't quite used, but you know what I mean. It's like, they come attracted to these good deeds, particularly the acts of worship, and you want to keep giving them that opportunity, although you're doing it for ultimate divinity. But Dasata 4-6-2-3 Somapapamana, 3 verses. Let him as mortal crave this speech for him who presses of the juice. As Brigu's sons chased Macha, so drive ye the niggard hound away. The kinsman hath endued his robe, even as a son is clasped in arms. He went as lover to a dame to take his station suitor-like. That hero who produces strength, he who hath propped both worlds apart, gold-hued, hath wrapped him in the sieve to settle, priest-like in his place. And let us remember that if you're going to have a dog, have it outside as a guard dog. Do some work with the dog, not just, have it be something that's going to take and, run off with things as itself. And, Dasata 4-6-2-4 Indra. 2 verses. Still Indra, from all ancient time, rivalous ever, and companionless art thou. Thou seekest friendship, but in war. Thou findest not the wealthy man to be thy friend. Those scorn thee who are flown with wine. What time thou thunderest and gatherest, then thou, even as a father, art invoked. Now, certainly some intoxicants, if not all of them, distract you from the divine remembrance. And ultimate divinity, of course, is one to involve itself in, your difficulties. If you're doing what's right, even when difficult, then you can reach unto the friend stage. Sata 4625, Indra, 3 verses. 1,000 steeds are harnessed to thy golden car, yoked by devotion. Indra, let the long maned bays bring thee to drink the soma juice. Yoked to thy chariot, wrought of gold, may thy 2 bays with peacock tails convey thee hither, steeds with their white backs, to quaff sweet juice that makes us eloquent. So drink thou, lover of the song, as the first drinker of this juice. This, the outpouring of the savory sap, prepared is good and meet to gladden thee. And let us remember, what was it? 4750 BCE was at the start of the Yazidi calendar, in which they said the peacock form was what taught them. Dasata 4626, Somapavamana, 2 verses. Press ye and pour him like a steed, laudworthy, speeding through the region and the flood, who swims in water, dwells in wood, the steer with 1,000 streams, who poureth out the rain, dear to the race of deities, who, born in law, hath waxen mighty by the law, king, god, and lofty ordinance. But are we saying that these claims of position are conditional to waxing by the law? Ultimate divinity doesn't have injustice upon itself, but it's not just the place. It's what's going on with the place. Dasata 4627 Agna, 3 verses. Stirred with oblation, kindled bright. Through love of a song, may Agna bent. On riches smite Vritra's dead. His father's father, shining in his mother's everlasting side. Set on the seat of sacrifice, O active to Vedas, bring devotion that wins progeny. Agna, that it may shine to heaven. Now, Christianity says they believe in the Immaculate Conception, but then they say that God's the Father and that God's somehow a male. We find it here that this implication that ultimate divinity is not really gendered. It's not, without a wife, without a consort, without a, but there's that metaphorical sort of thing, the born from the side. Most of these myths, it's not even born in the right area of the body. The natural way. Dasata 4628 Somapavamana, 3 verses. made pure by this man's urgent zeal and impulse, the god hath, with his juice, the gods paraded. Pressed, singing, to the sea he goes, as passes the Hotar to enclosures holding cattle, robed in fair raiment, meet to wear in combat, a mighty sage pronouncing invocations, roll onward to the press boards, as they cleanse thee, far sing at the feast of gods, and watchful, dear he is brightened on the fleecy summit, a prince among us, nobler than the noble. Roar out as thou art purified, run forward, do ye preserve us evermore with blessings. And so there's an involvement of various light beings, but there's an awareness of even beyond that when it comes to rituals. The Santa 4, 6, 2, 9, 3 verses. Come now and let us glorify pure Indra with pure summon him. Let milk blent juice delight him made stronger with pure songs of praise. O Indra, come thou pure to us, with pure assistance, pure thyself. Pure send thou riches down to us, and meet for Soma. Pure rejoice. O Indra, pure vouchsafe us wealth, and pure enrich the worshipper. Pure thou dost strike the Vritras dead. Thou stridest pure to win the spoil. And just like the Bible kind of indicates that you have Shathanim, not just one Satan figure. Here also, I forget exactly what Vritras means. Dasata 4, 6, 2, 10, Agni, 3 verses. Eager for wealth, we meditate Agni's effectual laud today. Laud of the God who touches heaven. May Agni, who is Hotar priest among mankind, accept our songs and worship the celestial folk. Thou, Agni, art spread widely forth, priest dear and excellent. Through thee, men make the sacrifice complete. And so how do we complete our deeds? Some rituals, you might give peaceful greetings to everyone. Some people just say you're dismissed, which seems rather uninspired, right? The Santa 4, 6, 2, 11, Soma Pavamana, 3 verses. To him praiseworthy, sacred tones have sounded. Steer of the triple height, the life bestower, dwelling in wood like Varuna, a river lavishing treasure. He distributes blessings. Great conqueror, warrior girt, Lord of all heroes, flow on thy way as he who winneth riches, with sharpened arms, with swift bow, never vanquished in battle, vanquishing in fight the foeman, giving security, Lord of wide dominion, send us both heaven and earth with all their fullness, striving to win the dawns, the light, the waters, the cattle, call to us abundant bounty. And so it's a continual process that we should be engaging in to achieve. Dasata 4, 6, 2, 12, Indra, 2 verses. O Indra, thou art far renowned, impetuous Lord of power and might, alone the never conquered guardian of mankind. Thou smitest down resistless foes. As such, we seek thee now, O Asura, the most wise, craving thy bounty as our share. Thy sheltering defense is like an ample cloak, so may thy favors reach to us. Well, the Asuras, the fire beings, they've been around longer than we have, and they definitely would like to take part in what the humans do. And they definitely can be wise or unwise with their choices. Dasata 46213. 2 verses. Thee have we chosen, skillfulest in sacrifice, immortal priest among the gods, best finisher of this holy rite, the water's child, the blessed, brightly shining one, Agna whose light is excellent. May he by sacrifice win us in heaven the grace of Mitra, Varuna, and the floods. And let us remember to combine what we're asking for. Don't just ask for the worldly things, ask for the spiritual side of the worldly things. But then again, whatever spiritual side is best, not necessarily. I form these correspondences and I've, make that the case, right? Dasata 46214, Agna 3 verses. Lord of all food is he, the man whom thou protectest in the fight. Agna and urgest to the fray, him whosoever he may be, no one may vanquish mighty one, nay, very glorious wealth is his. May he who dwells with all mankind conquer and fight with steeds of war, with sages may he win the spoil. And let's enlist the help or advice or whatever of others where it is good to. Dasata 46215, Soma Pavamana. 3 verses. 10 sisters pouring out the rain together. The sages quickly, moving thoughts adorn him. Hither hath run the gold-hued child of Surya, and reached the vat like a fleet vigorous courser, even as a youngling shouting with his mothers. The bounteous steer hath flowed along with waters. As youth to damsel, so with milk, he hastens on to the settled meeting place, the beaker. Yea, swollen is the udder of the milch cow. Thither in streams comes very sapient Indu. The kine make ready, as with new wished treasures. New washed treasures. The head and chief with milk within the vessels. And now more than ever, I guess it's important to wash new things because of what they've been exposed to, that they've been treated with stuff. Definitely be careful with, definitely some issues with electronics or something. Don't just dip your electronics in water to wash them, but you know what I mean, like fabric and utensils and all that stuff. New wash treasures. Or perhaps, you run smoke over spiritual, you don't, to reassociate what you're doing with something rather than something else. Like I thought, like my rock collection, I wouldn't just necessarily give my rock collection to someone if I was going to move to another country. Dasata 46216, Indra 2 verses. Drink, Indra, of the savory juice, and cheer thee with our milky draught. Be for our weal our friend and sharer of the feast, and let thy wisdom guard us well. In thy kind grace and favor may we still be strong. Cast us not down before the foe. With manifold assistance guard and succor us, and establish us in thy good will. And let us understand, we may think of what we deserve or don't deserve. Let us appeal to the mercy beyond that. Dasata 46217 Soma Pavamana, 3 verses. The 3 times 7 milch kine in the loftiest heaven have for the Soma poured the genuine milky draught. 4 other bounteous creatures hath he made for his adornment when he waxed in strength through holy rites. Enjoying lovely Amrita by his wisdom, he divided each apart from each other, earth and heaven. He gladly wrapped himself in the most lucid floods. When through their glory they found the gods' resting place, may those his brilliant rays be ever free from death, and violet for both classes of created things, rays wherewith powers of men and gods, light beings, are purified, even yet. For this have sages welcomed him as king, and so even the fire beings, for example, and stuff, there's a limit to their term of existence. There's some sort of death or whatever, but ultimate divinity doesn't have death. It's a causer of death, but not, The Sata 46218 Soma Pavamana, 3 verses. Lauded with a song to feast him, flow to Vayu, flow purified to Vruna and Mitra, flow to the song inspiring our car-born hero, to mighty Indra, him who wields the thunder. Pour on us garments that shall clothe us meetly. Send purified milch-kine, abundant yielders, God Soma. Send us chariot-drawing horses, that they may bring us treasures bright and golden. Send to us a stream, celestial riches. Send us, when thou art cleansed, what earth containeth, so that thereby we may acquire possessions and richehood in Jamadagna's manner. Dasata 46219 Indra, 3 verses. And of course, before that, we had this implication that the heavenly realms would have more than the earth. From some perspectives, that wasn't entirely clear, that the heavens were the more vast thing. When thou, unequaled Magavan, was born to smite the Vritra's dead, thou spreadest out the spacious earth, and didst support and prop the heavens. Then was the sacrifice produced for thee, the laud and song of joy. In might thou art above this all that now is and yet shall be. Raw, kine, thou fillest with ripe milk. Thou madest Surya rise to heaven. Heat him as milk is heated with pure summon hymns. Great joy to him who loves the song. And what's in its position in the universe definitely has its, there's spiritual, there's natural laws that keep it that way. The Sata 46220, 3 verses. Rejoice, thy glory hath been quaffed, Lord of bay steeds, as twere the bowl's enlivening mead. Thine steer is Indu, steer the strong, best winner of 1,000 spoils. Let our strong drink, most excellent, exhilarating, come to thee. Victorious Indra, bringing grain, immortal, conquering in fight. Thou hero, winner of the spoil, urgest to speed the car of man. Burn like a vessel with the flame, the rightless Dasu, conqueror. And of course, even our physical body is a vehicle